Yeah, so bad things happen to cactus sometimes. They get fungus, and sometimes you can cut this. There's no disease here, so you should be able to re-root this, let it dry out. This one didn't have any disease. I just cut it in half because I thought it did. So I can plant this and plant this, probably be okay. No disease there, and no disease there. I'll show you some that are too far gone. Yeah, there's nothing on this plant that you can save. It's a terrible fungal infection, and unfortunately,
it looks very.
Does he have seed pods in here? He's going to have a.
Maybe there's seeds.
Yeah,
very dry.
So, anyways, there's nothing you can save on this guy. Nothing you can save on this guy. And this, yeah, you know, there's nothing you can save. So that sometimes happens if you're too slow with the knife, or it's one of these. His color is bad. It's just so they go back to the soil, and that's the downside of growing cactus. It's a fungus or bacteria. At least it's not root mealybug or some other hideous thing. Can't really find this anymore, unfortunately, with the fungicide. But you could use sulfur, I think. And so I just use a paintbrush, and then I'm going to let them dry out in this clay pot in the shade. You know, you don't want to end up with fungus. You'll end up like that movie, The Last of Us, running around. Oh, like looking like those cactus we pulled out of the trash can. That would just be some horrible thing. I actually got valley fever, so I got this fungus in my lungs, and that was no party, I can tell you that. But it also takes the doctors about 6 months to figure out. By that time, you're not even sick anymore. So I don't know. That's a whole different story. Yeah, so we'll let these guys dry out, and then we'll plant them up. It's the growing season, so we should have success. We'll come back to it maybe in the fall or next spring. We'll tell the tale.
Good.
Oh yeah.
Good.
This is I should tell you what these are. They're valuable. Mammillaria pectinifera. I have trouble with this. And this is Epithelantha unguspina. And I thought it had rot because I got paranoid. The other one's rotted, but I was wrong. But he kind of needed a decapitation anyway because he was growing.
Bizarre. He's like pot-bellied.
Yeah, so now I'll have two. And maybe these will get bigger and I can propagate those because it's a pretty neat plant. And this here, it's going to go into the green barrel because I don't know what that funky.
It's not worth it.
It needs to be rejuvenated. But you can't rejuvenate humans like this. This would be progress on the cactus seedlings. Copiapoa Hasseltonii. I got these seeds from a friend of mine. I planted these. Actually, I germinated these, unlike most cactus, in October because they're sort of a cold desert kind of cactus. They probably would do much better in this climate than these North American, Mexican, and USA cactus. Astrophytum coelense. This is a hodgepodge. Sometimes if I don't have anything in the pot, I'll put other stuff in there. I have actually one Copiapoa hypogea. I think that's that one right there. I had all this extra real estate, so I just stuck some lithops and other stuff. We'll see what happens. And we got some ariocarpus scapharoides, scapirosins. How do you say that? And that was a little over a year ago. They're growing. They're extremely slow. Probably too much sun. If you want to grow these faster, keep them greener, and you can water them more. I'm not in a hurry. I should be, but I'm not. And here we got a variety of Lopos. And that was early last year. And they're cruising away. They're slow. These grow very slow for me. They're really neat. There's some more. Someone gave these to me. They're doing good. This is corypantha retusis from my own plants, a southern Mexican grower. This, I only have 2 here. This is a sort of a, you don't find too many of these. I hope they do well. This is a Cactus knowltonii, small area in Colorado. I got these seeds actually from Europe. A friend sent them from Europe. We only got 5 and 2 are up. They look quite a bit to me like a very slow growing, the Simpsonii we talked about. The seeds look the same, but you can see they're growing slower. I think they're smaller growing. And what else we got? We got some more no, these are ariocarpus avagoides, 2023, probably in the late spring. And I think I got some other random stuff growing in there, but these are the ariocarpus. It's slow, extremely slow. And these are neat. I lost a bunch of these in this bad soil mix, which we can talk about. Mammillaria mejorade. I also put Rosio Central, but none of those sprouted. These are definitely mejorades. I got 4. It's a neat miniature. I got them from my own plants as they grow inside the body of the plant. So as they died, I was able to pluck them out. And this is Corypantha gramispinus, and also Mammillaria solsidoides, which did not sprout. But the gramispinus, these are these tall guys. And I stuck this Herrera in there, and that looks like a epilantha. But these are the gramispinus. It's kind of a new Corypantha discovery. Older Lopos. These are decipiens, I think. No, these aren't. These are a mixture I got from Europe. So I don't know what kind they're going to grow. I can't really tell them apart until they get much bigger. But these are from 2018. So, you know, they're growing tragically slow, but at least they're not dead. So I don't know, grow faster. And this is a mixture of a bunch of stuff I put in here. Lopos, that's a Epithelantha gregii, Epithelantha bochii. That looks like a regular micromeris. They got some ariocarpus. That's a lone mammillaria humboldtii. I think that's one there too. Probably well, they're all limestone lovers. So these were from 22. So eventually I'll have to take them out. But right now they're happy. I'm not gonna fool with them. This is another pot. This one I let dry out too much. It's got a bunch of stuff, but I think that's a Herrera. That's a micromeris. I don't know what that is. And these are epithalanthas. It's not the best looking pot, but they're not dead. So this is something I had to do a transplant on tiny seedlings, which is difficult to do. These are M. lentas. So I hope, I just did this a little while ago, so I hope they grow very slow. I hope they I hope they do well. I really like mammillaria lentas. They're cool. This is another hodgepodge. Mammillaria Herrera. I never get good germination. Only once I ever got good germination on these. My own seeds. Some kind of ariocarpus. That's a mammillaria lenta in there. And that's a Epithelantha micromeris. And that's a tiny little bochii. And that's someone that didn't get enough water. These are from 2022. So slow growers. Here's a little bit faster growers. Mammillaria microlethally. These have been transplanted. They seem to be okay. I like this hot weather. I'm sure other people can grow much faster. These are the mystery turbinicarpus I got from Europe. I don't know what kind they are. I'll show you a bigger one. maybe horripilus. I don't know. Maybe a hybrid. I don't know. And this is I transplanted these. I think I had an emergency transplant. I had this bad soil we can talk about. A bunch of turbinicarpus. I don't know what. It looks like turbinicarpus. They all kind of look the same until they start developing their spines. That's an epi. That's mammillaria. That's an ariocarpus. So there's, put them in here. It kind of slows them down, but at least they don't die. These were doing really good, and I kept them in the tragic soil too long, and they all started rotting a couple years later. This is mammillaria orelantha, and a couple are okay. So we got those from Mesa Gardens, the seeds. Hopefully they're okay. Here's some sort of mixture. I must have transplanted these. Mammillaria microlethally. It's corypantha maize tabulense, and these are probably more microlethally. They don't all, some grow faster than others. That's some corypanthas pectinatus. They're going faster. These are all planted around the same time. You see some cactus go faster than others. And here's a pot of turbinicarpus pseudopectinus from 2022. And then I just had this, it came out of a pot. That's a Echinocactus horizontaloneus, and that's a Echinocactus rigidimus, and that's even ariocarpus they got in there, but it's mostly pectinus. And I think there's probably, I'm trying with the pectinus, I'm trying to add organic to the soil because I can't, like I said, I can't grow them that good. So hopefully, maybe they want organic, even though they're from Mexico. Organic, maybe mixed with limestone. I'll just have to keep trying. Other people grow them much better than me, and most people use store-bought cactus soil, so maybe that's the secret. Epithoanthas, a couple Bochii, the rest are Gregii. These I took out of a pot. They started rotting, so I just transplanted them. They're from 2020. They're like 4 years old. Slow growers. Okay. Here's a bunch of Epithoantha micromeris with a mammillary lenta. These can actually go into a more adult cactus bench or something. They're just extra stuff I had. Champion slow growers. Here are the ariocarpus fisheratus. Sort of this, and that's a Cuchtibianus. Here's some Escobaria minimas. I had a bunch of these. So I put them in bigger pots. They're happy, I hope. Here's this other emergency transplant thing I did where I got, these were being choked out by mammillaria. This, I forget the name. It's some common or fast growing. So I took them out, put them in here. This is a Echinocactus texensis. It's the horse crippler. And these look like Epithoantha micromeris, and that's Astrophytum coelensis. So hopefully they recover. I don't know why these grow so slow. Other people grow much faster. They're really neat cactus. Here's an older pot with some neat Mexican cactus. You got Bochii, Herrera, turbinicarpus, pseudopectinus, and regular Epithoantha micromeris, I think. These seeds were from Europe. They were called Gregii, but they look like micromeris. And there's a real Gregii right there. Right there. Here's some mammillaria with this crazy name, Chinocephala. I got those from Mesa. Kind of a common. Sometimes I like to grow, easier to grow cactus just because some of the other ones are so difficult to grow. These are from my own seeds, Mammillaria coelensis. These are really neat. They have big tap roots, and they're not the easiest cactus for me to grow. The same thing with any of the cactus with the big tap roots. You just got to really, when they get big, these aren't big. When you get big, you got to watch, you got to put them in clay pots, at least in this climate. Here's a whole bunch of turbs. Calincarianus schwartzii, and that's our Yardnigii. They're much older, I think. 2017, yeah. So they've been around forever, and then here's a bunch of I transplanted these ariocarpus Cuchtibianus. This is a variety, Ladkowski. From my own plant, I got some plants from Miles, and they had seeds, so I planted a bunch, and they just grow slow, but they don't seem to be particularly hard to grow. They're neat and they're slow and they don't get that big. So that's this whole side of the cactus growing bench. And here's another side. The other sides, they're older, and probably they're not really seedlings anymore. They used to be seedlings. You know, this is a little bit bigger. Fisheratus. God, he's probably like 15 years old. I don't know. They're forever plants. Here's more of them here. I just watered them. So you always have to water them. You just really just worry that they're going to rot. But I changed the soil. I had a video on that. So I think they're happy again. I think I finally got back to what I used to do. These are weird things. These are mammillaria albiflora. My own plants. They sprouted and they just grow very strangely. I think they must miss Mexico, where they're from. Here's some corypantha andersonii. Had for a long time. Don't water them very much. These are old, mature plants. Not anything to do with seedlings. They're just here because they like a little more shade, I think. And I just really don't water them very much. Here's some plants I got from a friend of mine. Those are really neat. Ariocarpus lloydii. I think they're called Fisheratus variety lloydii. They're like a Fisheratus, but they don't have any fissures. They're pretty neat. Pithawantha gregii. I put them in individual pots. Some didn't like being transplanted, and this one did. See the difference? He's like not growing, and he is. He's not growing, so you might think, I'll water him more. Don't do that. You'll just kill him. This is a neat plant here. This is a Chenomastis intertextus. These are difficult to grow. They seem to be spring burst growers. A friend of mine gave these to me, and I hope I can keep them alive. I don't know. I never have in the past. And this is a mammillaria saboi hundiniana. I got this from Box Nursery, and it was full. It was green, completely puffed up and full of mealybug. But I think I've got him on the mend. He's shrunk to half his size, and the mealybug are gone. You can see he's got all these scars. But you don't see these around too much anymore. They have really pretty big purple flowers. And this is some South American stuff. That's I think they call it Neoporteria oderii, variety Kraussii. Must be someone's last name. They seem to grow pretty easy in this climate. So that's good. There's some Corypantha gonzalez, Saurii variety gonzalez. They sort of stunted out of me. I'm hoping I transplanted them. I hope they'll do better. Corypantha Isabella. Those are neat. This is a mixture of two mammillaria Sanchez merherates mixed in with some Corypantha valdesianus. They all kind of look the same. These meherati will actually disappear under the ground in the winter. Don't be alarmed. This is the way they grow. This is my last Corypantha alonzii. I have no luck with those. When this one finally dies, I'm done growing those. And here's some Rebudias, Helloaceae, which means sun. And I just wanted to see what they're like to grow from seed. And they're growing super slow like the rest of my cactus, probably because I don't water them enough. But whatever. The last of the Escobaria minima that I haven't put in bigger pots. Maybe I'll donate these or something. I have so many of them. These are neat. I got these from a friend. This is Strombocactus disciformis. Tiny little seeds. I have not figured out how to grow them from seed yet. I can sprout them, but they don't last long. They're really neat though. They're kind of expensive. Alone Astrophytum coilens. Mammillaria roseocentra, Escobaria minima, and I think that's Mammillaria albiflora. This one looks unhappy with this. He probably likes a completely different climate than this. He's more northern. This is from Texas, and these will also grow in Texas. This is way down in Mexico. Farther south in Mexico they grow, the harder it is for me to grow them. Because I grow them outdoors and these benches, and they just miss Mexico. Ariocarpus scapharoides. Kind of a rare plant in the wild. But I'm hopeful. Someone created these. I hope I don't kill them. Fingers crossed. Turbinocarpus yarnigii. This is what happens when you overwater these. They split.
Really?
It doesn't kill them, but they look funky. But you know, whatever. He's still alive, so it's the way it goes. This is a Turbinocarpus bonnetii. So it kind of looks like that one. Probably grows the same. There's more yarnigii. I used to have a bunch of yarnigii, but they were so popular, so I kept trading them away to get other plants. You know, like these strombocactus and these ariocarpus. So it was worth it for me to do that. Mammillaria aurelantha. This one's doing better than the other ones because I got them out of the tragic soil quicker. One of my last ariocarpus retusus lost a lot of these. They were doing great, and then they all started dying. I have a video on that. And here's another one that's still. I think you can tell he's not turning gray, so he's okay. Turbinocarpus lopho 40s. I have them going from seed. They're a little bit hard for me to grow, but once they're up, they seem okay. There's a bunch of little Turbinocarpus. I don't know what they are. When they get bigger, we'll talk about them. This is a Turbinocarpus that the side rotted off. But I'm hopeful he'll recover and not end up in the green barrel like those other plants, but you never know. And guy on Cacti Guide, I traded for these, Mammillaria hernandezii. I have two. I hope they do okay. Some more lopos. I think these are, I don't know what kind they are. Fricii, maybe, Decipians, Williamaceae, I don't know. Can't tell, they're too small. Mammillaria carmenei. Both of these died on me. One of them lived. I don't know why. They're not hard to grow. I just had bad luck. Some more Turbinocarpus. These are Polaskii, two of them. Pretty neat plants. And just some miscellaneous. I mean, sometimes things get mixed together. I mean, there's ariocarpus mixed with I don't know what those are. Yeah, sometimes, and here's some little. I just transplanted these. These are Turbinocarpus Calincrianus schwartzii, little tiny ones. And that's it, and I'm out of room. Actually, I have a little bit of room, but not that much. Here's my little seed setup. I got this plastic box, and I put white tissue paper and screen. I don't want them to get too much sun. And this is why I'm going to need some more room. These just came up this year. This is a Escobaria robinsorium. I think one came up, so I put some Bladthacanthus mathias, and that's these big ones. Some epithalanthas, mammillaria lentas. I got this weed in here to kind of read the moisture. I like that because you can't always tell when you need to water them. They're not in baggies, as you can see. I just sprayed them. Here's a bunch of mammillaria Humboldtii mixed with Neoporteria or Orderii krausii. That's a strange mix. And there's even a lithop growing in there. I don't know where that came from. Sometimes I don't know where that came from. This is Turbinocarpus lophofortes. Like I said, these are kind of tough. Something they don't like the way I'm. Maybe they like more humidity. Maybe they like less sun. I don't know. Here's a pot that I think I was growing Polaskii, and none of them came up. So then I put some Graminespinas in there, and a few came up. And then these came from some plants I got, so I just stuck them in there. And there's even an Astrophytum growing. And this I just planted. This is Pithalantha filariae. That's kind of a rare one. I think that's what that thing is. And then some Lophophora Alberto Volchekii. I don't know if any of those came up. I mean, I can't tell what they are. I didn't get very many seeds of either, so I didn't want to waste the real estate. And there's not much came up here either. I think there's supposed to be Mammillaria Schumannii globosa. There's a few tiny ones. That's an Epithalantha bochii that got in there. And these I'm pretty happy about. These are Mammillaria meacanthas Carlsbad. We actually went to Carlsbad this year and found some seed pods, and so there they are. You can kind of see them. So maybe in 10 years we'll have something to talk about. They're kind of a pancake flat, a mammillaria growing in New Mexico. So hopeful they'll do a little bit better in this climate, because it gets, I don't have a greenhouse, so it gets more weather than maybe a Mexican cactus. Anyways, that's all and I got to try to fit these in that bench later on, so I don't really can't grow anymore.
And lastly, these here, you can kind of see them. These are, I don't have the tag, Astrophytum ornatum seeds. We got them, I think by now the newest LA Cactus Show video should be out, but we got some seeds there from Long Beach Cactus Club, so thank you to them for these. Now, I really like Astrophytums. I don't have any ornatums. I've always wanted one. I know they're not rare, but for some reason I can never find any. And I've also never grown, I personally have never grown any cactus from seed. So this will be a first for me. So I'm going to plant these up, and hopefully they'll sprout, and I can film in a little bit later some progress if they sprout and don't die. So stay tuned for that. We sprayed them off with some hydrogen peroxide. We got them, they were a little crushed. And just to make sure that they're kind of sterile, there's nothing on there, no bacteria, no fungus, no nothing, to hopefully increase the amount of germination we get, and also at the same time, because they're going to go into this plant, or this pot here, this Copiapoa molecula. I think there's maybe, I don't even see it.
3.
Yeah, there's like 3 of them in here. So
they all sprouted and they all rotted.
Yeah.
3.
So to save real estate, I'm just going to plant these in here, but also, in case there's something on these, I don't want to kill whatever's in here. So hopefully, spray them with these hydrogen peroxide. It should be dry now. I think it's pretty hot out today. So I'm going to plant these up, and fingers crossed we actually get some germination, and I can finally get my Astrophytum ornatum.
So, a little update. It's been about 2-ish weeks, and I don't remember how many seeds we planted, but we got one. So, one little plant, it's growing barely, but he's still alive. So, one's better than none, and hopefully he'll keep growing.